Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob, and today I'm going to attempt to take this 1970 Ford Capri from shabby to shiny. Now, I want to apologise straight away. I'm a little bit drunk, so if my one take voiceover today is a bit off, blame it on the liquor. So we'll start by drilling down the centre of the post, remove the flange and tap those holes. 2 holes with this one. Certainly, please do remember your lubrication. You will snap your piece in the hole. You will notice that is half a drill bit. Perhaps I should practice what I preach, because there is the other half of my drill bit, having gone straight through. I didn't even realise how kind of thin that part of the bodywork was, and it got stuck because I didn't use lubrication, and I snapped my piece in the hole. So there you are. This is no joke. But let's continue to try and break this car down. So thankfully the base there come off nice and simply. There's some very obvious bends in the axles here. I have no idea what the child playing with this car was doing. What's that called? Reverse camber? Just going to try and pop out the wheels now. To be honest, the correct way of doing this is just lifting up this tab, going over the axle, and then flicking it back. For whatever reason, I forgot how to do it properly. You can see so there we go. Goes over, flicks out. It is easy once you know how. So there you go. Go under the plastic, go over the axle, pops out. So you can see there's a very obvious bend where it should be straight. This is for the parts bin. To be honest, these wheels actually could probably go straight into the real bin. Nearly just lost my cup of tea there in the corner. So anyway, the base reads Matchbox Series number 54, Ford Capri, made in England, 1970. There's new product, super fast. Nice bit of detail on the front with the headlights and the grille. Interior there, very plain, very basic, but all there. Of course, this one is missing the tow hook, but that's not a problem. On a Ford Capri, we don't need a tow hook. Who's gonna kind of pull along a caravan in this cool car? Window section there in good condition. Light buff up and a polish later on. So we should need to figure out how to get my piece out of this hole. I'm going to give it a good yank, and hopefully it'll pop out in one piece. So I'm just trying to figure out now where best to grab it. I guess grab it by the end, give it a wiggle. And it actually pops. So thankfully I've got a few spares. Perhaps I should order a few more just in case. Nice little engine detail there, all in chrome, so we'll be giving that a little bit of a detail later on. A little bit of black paint, a little bit of red paint, just to make it look a bit more interesting. So live on camera, just trying to figure out how to remove the bonnet there. And it appears just in this corner there's a piece broken, whereas on that top corner there you can see that both pieces are there holding in the bonnet. I'm just trying to figure out how to get this off. You know, do I stick my screwdriver in? Am I going to break it? And to be honest, I thought perhaps best do this off camera now, so I can actually concentrate. And probably 2 seconds after turning off the camera, I did manage, thankfully, to just pop it off. What I'd done was kind of slightly opened up those, I guess, grips with the end of the screwdriver there, and yeah, it came out nicely. So into some boiling water it goes, and 2 teaspoons of caustic soda. Just a couple of minutes later, and here we have then the body of the car, looking in mighty clean condition. There's a few little odds and sods there, as you can see, perhaps of the paint. What I find actually is that this orange paint, after it's been in the kind of caustic soda method, it seems to turn pink. Unsure why it does that. But anyway, I'm going to go over these 2 metal parts with my fake Dremel and steel wire brush on the end there. Obviously replace this one. And then once it's all buffed up and polished, turn to my kind of, what do they call it? It's the Tamiya Fine Surface Primer. This one I use is in a light grey. I just do a single coat. You can see there in the reflection of the light, it goes on beautifully. Same again with the main casting of the car. Just give it a good single coat. Now I went to the tab, what do you call it? It's the, I'm just going to go onto my phone now. Community tab. Like I say, I've had a few beers tonight, so I'm a bit slow, but went onto the community tab and asked the guys there, what colour would you like to see it? And to be honest, I had, I think, about 50 different colour variations, but there was a couple there that I thought, do you know what, I think that'll look pretty good. So pause the video now. What colour do you think I'm going to paint it? So you got the interior there I just cleaned up, and the window section. It gets the pledge treatment, and then it was at this point that I thought, okay, let's chop off the remainder of the tow hook, and accepting really that this white just wasn't going to cut it. So I use these cocktail sticks, kind of force it in underneath, and this will be getting a coat of satin black along with the bonnet. But here's the colour of the car, metallic silver. Who would have guessed it? A couple of people suggested it in the community tab, and I thank you everybody for commenting. So just forgot to put the filter on there. It makes all the difference. Now I was a bit concerned at first because obviously one, I was going over a grey primer, but going with the silver, I wondered whether it would really show up. The previous silver car I'd done, in between the primer and the silver, I coloured the car in a satin black, although that was acrylic, so I wondered how this enamel would do. So there's the first coat, and to be honest, you can't really see too much. And then after 3 or 4 coats, look at that, beautiful. You could shave in that reflection. But anyway, would you believe that, considering the shine on this, that it actually dried off in like a satin silver, which was, although very nice, it weren't what I was looking for. I wanted that glassy shine. And I asked a couple of friends of mine, George, which is Hodges Hot Wheels and Diecast, but also Lee over at Time Riders Wee Little Cars, and they suggested just hitting it up with the Tamiya X22 Clear, and yeah, it's a beautiful finish now. So thanks very much for those guys to responding. We got like a monthly kind of build off, if you will, and we're in regular contact. So if any of us have got any questions, we ask each other. I certainly don't claim to be a professional or know it all. I still learn every day. So between us, I think we've got most things covered now. But anyway, back to the video. As you can see, I'm just covering the interior, and I've also just covered as a first coat over the bonnet. That'll get a couple of coats, as will the interior. I must admit, I do find trying to get into the gaps of these seats can be a bit problematic. You can see me here trying to get it at different angles, different depths, just to make sure I've got full coverage. And this enamel, being a matte or a satin finish, the camera really finds it difficult to kind of pick it up. But yeah, there we are. Trust me, it's covered, and the dried finish is beautiful. So yeah, just picking up the bonnet again and doing a second coat. I find that with the satin or the matte finishes with the enamel, it dries super fast. It's the glosses that can take days to dry. So there it is, and it flashes off in a matte finish. But whilst all the paint is kind of looking to dry overnight, I'm going to now buff up this base, which, to be honest, yeah, I guess it come up alright, but just not good enough for us. So I'm going to spread a little bit of auto sew around. That's a bit too much there. And I don't buff it, but I kind of use my fake Dremel with the same wire end on it. And I tell you what, it really does a good job. So I just want to take off a little bit of that auto sew. To be honest, a little bit too much on there, and it'll probably flick everywhere and hit me in the eyes and all sorts. I say in the eyes, I actually do make sure to always wear my safety goggles, but you can see within seconds there, what a difference it makes. It's pulling out all the junk, all the rubbish, and if I just concentrate on one little area for a second, look at that, beautiful. And then off camera, doing it all. To be honest, it took all of, 2 minutes to get it where we were here. A little bit of tissue there. Now I'm going to put my wheels on. Like I say, I've got 5 sets of these. If you haven't seen the Volvo video, which come out just before this one, take a look at it. It seems to be pretty well liked. Whilst I'm doing the voiceover at this one, the Volvo's probably been live for about 5 or 6 hours. But these wheels to me are beautiful, and they do very much suit this car. Even more so on this car than the Volvo, I think, anyway. But I'll certainly listen, read any of your comments down below. I've got 3 more sets of these wheels actually. So if you've got any ideas on what kind of cars you think these will look good on, I'm all ears. Fire away. Look at that. Rolls a dream. So now turning my attention to the engine piece there. Just a small little detail. Add a little bit of red paint here, a little bit of black paint there. And whilst I had my paints out, painted in the front headlights and the front registration there. And then here's the interior. I would say at this point it's probably been an hour, and that is dry. I'm obviously holding it gingerly. Same again with the windscreen. But it is now the following day. Everything has had plenty enough time to dry. Most importantly, I think, body of the car, and of course you can see the shine there. Thankfully, you know, that lacquer really did do the trick. I'm just going to add in a couple of little details on the rear here and put it together for the final reveal. So as a little reminder of what she looked like. And what a result. Beautiful silver colour car. Kept with the satin black bonnet. Nice bit of colour detail around the back on the rear lights. Those wheels are amazing, in my opinion, of course. I think really suit this car. Probably could have done a bit of a lowering, but I could take that. But anyway, you want to take this opportunity to thank my Patreons. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you'll stick around for the next one.